All right, so today I'm going to commit the ultimate sin and mansplain how to eat on your period. So I was looking at Facebook today and I saw some posts about, I don't go to the gym on my period, and a lot of other women jumping in and justifying that. And I have been researching this for some time now, because after 15 years in the fitness industry, you encounter a lot of women with different hormone problems. And I have worked with a lot of women who also encounter this issue during their period where they don't want to work out, they get cravings, yada yada yada. And so I decided to look into, what really causes that. So one of the big things out there is people believe that when they're on their period, because they are bleeding and they're hungry and they're low energy, they believe that they need more calories. Okay. So actually, if you look at the time when you feel the most energetic, it's during your ovulation phase, right? During this phase, you're also going to be more energized. Your fat loss is going to be better. You're not going to want to eat as much. Okay. That is because your estrogen is the highest that it ever is during the month. Okay, the only other really high time is your luteal phase right before menstruation phase. Okay, which is the one that we are the most concerned about. You have a lot of energy, all of that good stuff, right? Now, what happens during your menstruation phase, your estrogen like almost borderline drops out. Okay, and that is actually what steals your drive. It's going to give you super low energy. It's going to make you irritable, depressed, everything. All right. And when that happens, it's going to make it really hard to stick to your program. However, your body is in a really compromised state at this point, right? Estrogen, when it is in a proper female cycle, right? It actually helps your body mobilize fat. It increases your resting metabolic rate. All these awesome things for fat loss. But when you don't have it, your resting metabolic rate drops. Okay, that means that your body's not burning as many calories, even though you're losing some blood, right? So even though you're losing blood, your actual calorie needs are going down. Okay, because that's just how your body works. Hormones do control your metabolism. All right. And on top of that, the lack of estrogen is decreasing your fat mobilization, right? So what's going to happen is if you do overeat, when you get that fat storage, you're also going to get some water retention with it. And you're going to end up holding that fat in spots you really don't want to hold it, like your hips and your midsection. Okay. It's just one of those things that happens. It's a real thing. And you need to be aware of that, right? Because if you walk into your period week saying, "Oh, I'm on my period," and you're in your feelings and you're depressed because you don't have any estrogen, you have to look at the facts, right? And you have to be rational, and you have to say, if I give into these cravings, I'm actually going to really shoot myself in the foot here, because my body is going to actually store more fat than normal instead of storing less fat than normal. And that's honestly the way that you have to approach your period week. And I know that sucks, but it's the ultimate reality of how our bodies work. And just because we feel a certain way, it doesn't mean that we can act on that, because sometimes those feelings are inaccurate. And that's when we have to stop and be rational and approach things that way. Okay, so just to recap: ovulation, high estrogen, high energy, high mood, high drive, increased fat loss, increased metabolic rate, increased satiety, decreased appetite. Okay, then you got menstruation, which is the opposite of that, right at the end of your period. And that's going to be your low energy, low drive. You're going to have, increased appetite. You're going to have increased fat gain. You're going to have increased fluid retention. And you're really not going to want to do anything, but it's important during this time that you really try and get up and move, and really try and find ways to get your satiety up, right? Like, you want to eat high protein, you want to eat a moderate to high fat diet, right? You want to limit out the carbs, because those do not help with your cravings. They actually make you more hungry. You'll need a lot of vegetables, right? Anything to increase fullness and help you fight those cravings. All right, ladies. So yeah, if you have any more questions, just feel free to shoot me a message. I'm also taking clients as well currently. So, all right, y'all have a great training week. Thanks.